Just more excited about racing with a wheel.
All right, Manny's first wheel. All right, I feel you.
Word.
All right, guys. Well, we're already recording, so might as well jump into it again like we did last week. A little less spicy. I couldn't catch y'all guys this time around. That's all right.
Can't catch slacking no more.
I'll get y'all again. Don't worry. There's more than enough moments. Way too many comments left on the cutting room floor. Anyways, guys, this is the Xpansion Pack Podcast where we download this week's gaming news. And you already know, we bring it straight to you. I'm your host, Danzel, a.k.a. Black Ice, joined by my co-hosts each and every week, starting off with Manny, a.k.a. Goopmaster Flex. What's going on, bro?
You already know what's popping. We staying gooping. It's a lifestyle.
Okay. He brought it back, and he was more coherent than last week. So
yeah, for sure.
Good. That's good.
Well, I mean, it's more later into the day, so I got time to wake up. Actually.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's later in the day. It's after the work hours, so
Yeah, seriously.
I know what you mean, but
it's all good.
We'll
it's
take
all
what
good.
we can get.
We will take what we can get. But yeah, we also got my boy down low, Chris, aka May 25th. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. It's been not up and down week, just a busy week. I'm good. We need to talk about some guys.
That's what's up.
Lot to talk about, guys. I hope you guys are strapped in, because this is a big episode.
There's a lot that's been happening these past couple weeks, and some things that we didn't necessarily get to in the last couple episodes, and all types of stuff. So we're definitely gonna get into it. Some big games have released, so I'm pretty excited. I mean, I'll just get into this. We haven't done this in a while. Let's just talk about what we've been playing. Manny, I know you kind of alluded to it in some of the pre-show stuff, but you're playing a little bit of Horizon and whatnot. So, tell me about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, like I was mentioning in the pre-show, Horizon definitely has been a great experience so far. I've really enjoyed the game. Definitely living up to the hype. It's not just all about the graphics. The gameplay is honestly phenomenal. I just love the way you just when you unlock the more skills in the skill tree, the way you could combo moves together and kind of defeat your enemies even better. Definitely a great experience. Definitely playing a lot of Horizon. Getting a little bit into Elden Ring as well, of course. But I'm just trying to, all these games coming out back-to-back weeks, and it's just hard to finish them all at once. So I'm trying my best to get Horizon done so I don't forget about that game. And then I'm going to dip my toes in Elden Ring, of course. Grand Turismo coming out this week later in March 4th. I'm excited to play that as well. I still got to finish Sifu. Lord help me. That I'm saying.
I feel you. Chris, what about you, man? What have you been playing?
In the last week, I've either been playing Witch Queen stuff, so Destiny, or Arceus, both my legends. So it's been one of the two. If I'm not actually physically on the Xbox, I've been probably laid up on broken Switch. You know what the hell's broken about it. Don't ask no questions you already know the answers to. You know it. What the hell you mean?
I didn't ask, my fault. But
anytime somebody says broken Switch, that's the first thing. Joycons? Oh yeah, Joycons. Okay, bet.
The Joycon Drift is insane. And then I'm not quite sure if I cracked the screen or not. I may have. So I have a piece of glass on it, but I'm scared to take it off in case I actually did crack it, because I can't tell. Normally you can tell if it's your screen protector that's broken or not. I can't tell. So I'm like, let me leave this on.
Well, you don't want to mess that up.
No, yeah. So I'm out here. But I will say, I've been having a pretty good time in Arceus. It's a solid B, man. Solid B. Maybe a B- to B. But it's not a bad game. There's things in it that I wish were a little bit better. But then again, saying that, might be a little bit better when we get to what we're talking about later on. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so.
Oh,
don't hold your breath, man.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. No, but yeah, for me, I mean, I've pretty much been playing Witch Queen as well. I'm actually pretty excited to get deeper into that. It's been a while since I've been playing Destiny 2, but now it's just hard, man. There's too many other games to play. Too many really good games to play. The big one, Elden Ring. We're going to talk a little bit more about Elden Ring a little later on, but Elden Ring's consumed my whole weekend. I mean, I was sick for the whole weekend. I really didn't have anything else to do, so I just was sitting down since Friday, just playing a whole lot of Elden Ring. And it's been an absolutely amazing experience. So, like I said, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Chris, though, we got to get Chris Elden Ring, man. That's a game I know.
I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab it in like 2-3 weeks.
No, he's gonna sink his teeth into.
Yeah, I'll be here.
It's a day for Chris.
No, we not. Because it's you don't even know, man. A couple weeks, I ain't gonna need no more campaigns. All right, I'm doing better now. Right,
Boy, okay.
all right.
Hey.
We're doing better now. So, fuck all them campaigns. Shit. That's so long ago. That was like 40 episodes ago.
How many this month?
Oh shit! It definitely freaking feels like it, man. February's been something else, man.
Yeah, I hear that.
Nothing history for gaming so far, A lot of games, but a lot of bangers.
For sure. A lot of
Yeah.
hitters. I mean, there's at least 3 games that people are talking about, game of the year contenders already. Obviously, it's only February, but we'll see. We'll see. But before we get into the topics and all the other stuff like Elden Ring and so on and so forth, Chris, you already know what it is.
And guys, it is time for a icebreaker, fools. Now, today's question. It's a good one, y'all. What 2 video game characters would you like to see do a crossover in a game, but have it narratively actually make sense? So when I say that, I mean, because a lot of games will do the crossover thing sometimes, but like they just throw a random person from another video game into the game and come up with some like whatever excuse for why they're in the game. For example, last one I could think of off the top of my head. Capcom, they was Monster Hunter World, I believe, and they did a crossover with The Witcher. So then Gerard, I think his name's Gerard, the character that's in the game.
Geralt, there
you go. He just showed up in the Monster Hunter World and then started hunting monsters with them and shit. And I'm just like, bruh, like, no. No. So, 2 good characters that really actually mesh well on paper, not just, oh, I thought that'd be cool. No. They have to go well together, right? So, now, I know I have to start. So, mine would be a video game in the sense of more of a versus and not just seeing them work together, right? It would be what's her name? Lara Croft and homeboy from Uncharted and Nathan Drake. And I want it to be a situation where they come up with something out there that tickles both of their fancies. And they're both the best at what they do, you know what I'm saying? And they end up having to face off for it. I think it's a really easy story to write. I think it's a different version of stories kind of we've already seen before, in a sense. I've never seen it in this treasure hunter versus treasure hunter aspect. Like I don't think I've seen a movie like that before. And they're both like just daredevil as hell. So you think about this, right? The reason why I think this would be cool is because they're both willing to go to like crazy lengths to get to whatever they're going after, or to get the answers to their questions, or to unravel the mysteries or whatever, right? But if you put the idea of it's not only just something that you're curious about that you want to go find, but you have to get it, and there's only one of them, and not only you have to get it, but the other person feels like they have to get it too. Like, I don't know what they give narratively in that way. Maybe there's something out there that can help a sick family member from dying or some shit like that, right? And they both need it. And that kind of gives more of like an emotional tie to it. I just think that game could be really cool and have multiple endings, man, because you could have some endings where, Drake kind of gets the leg up. You could have a couple endings where Lara gets the leg up, and a couple endings where like even neither of them get the leg up. Like there's a couple of different things you could kind of do with this, man, where I'm like, that'd be kind of cool. Not only cool in the video game, but I also think it'd be cool even on like a visual scale. You know what I mean? Like, because even with that, I don't think I've ever seen a heist versus heist movie, or not even a heist versus heist, but treasure hunter versus treasure hunter. Like, you don't usually see that. That's different. Usually they're really good guys that kind of like have this curiosity and this exploration thing about them or whatever. But because that part is their character, they usually don't have this whole. They don't usually tell them stories with a lot of competitiveness to it. You know what I mean? Like, there's not that. And I think that could be so cool to do. Come on, man. Drake versus Croft? Bro, come on, man. That's crazy.
Nathan ain't standing a chance, bro. Lara about to put
whoa. Hey.
You see?
All right, young boy.
You see?
Let me tell you a little something. No.
Let me tell you something. Laura may be a Croft.
I already know
Nathan's a Drake.
All young people are gonna say exactly what Manny just said.
Nah, I don't want to hear that.
Nathan Drake. Y'all forgot, bro. Laura's a. Come on now.
I'll give her respect.
You think Tom Holland be gonna be out here messing up Angelina Jolie? Come on now. Come on now.
That's not a fair comparison.
Alicia Vikander, the new chick out here, she gonna put that boy to bed.
Don't do that to this man, bro. Come on, bro.
Oh man,
that's messed up. Yo, shout out Tom Holland, bro. He ain't mean that, yo.
You know, Lara Croft turned Nathan Drake into a man. Come on now.
Oh,
already know, bro. But for real though, the moment you said those two names, like I already saw the whole script played out, bro. They have to have some sort of tension. They like in the past they crossed paths and like they probably dated or something like that. You got to get that level of things going. Like, oh man, bro, I already see this. I already see it.
Yeah, man. And it's easy, man. You don't need no fairy tales or no kind of craziness to this. All you need is a really good plot, a nice setting, and some explosions. Go get Michael Bay. God damn it, go get Michael Bay. It's okay. Don't let him write it, but let him do it. It's fine. Let him do it. And yeah, limit the explosions, and I think we got a good movie too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't know, man. You might have to keep them explosions up, man. You might be the perfect person for that role.
I see them going at each other's necks too. That's the thing that's crazy. Like at each other's throats for this whatever it is that they're after. What?
But you know how it would be, right? Those two respective characters, they still have to be heroes. So like they'd be at each other's throats at first, but like eventually they'd have to come together against some like common enemy thing, but like still have that playful competitiveness about, well, I got there first, that. Like I can see it all happening, bro. I can see it all. I can see the backstory too. Sully, he's if I remember correctly, is he British?
I don't recall that.
Why am
I sworn he was from the States.
He didn't have an accent? Or am I just looking at the actor and just not the actor, the character in the story and just thinking, damn, now I'm all messed up.
You sound like somebody's uncle.
Yeah, he definitely somebody's uncle.
Hey, right now.
Well, you know, shit like that.
For real, Chris went somewhere completely different with that one.
Chris is thinking about something else. Okay.
Yeah, all right, Chris. Well then.
Worried about the wrong treasure.
Why y'all do that to me, man?
You did it to yourself, bro. Caught yourself again. See, told you. I'll get y'all slipping every episode. Watch, Manny. I'm coming for you next. Speaking of which, Manny, go ahead and hit us off with your
guys
take.
Imagine this: Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. At the Olympic.
The fact that was actually like a thing in a boardroom somewhere.
And they probably pitched it just like that too.
Because I used to play this
Guys.
when I was a kid, yo. I mean, you can't not lie. There were, I mean, maybe I didn't play it, but like I enjoyed it.
Sure.
I did. But not it's not like two specific characters, but more like two groups. I feel like if you put in the early Saints Row days of like Saints Row 1 and 2, like that group versus the Grove Streets, you know what I'm saying? Like have them like, like duke it out in some like gang war story. You can either choose the side of being with the Grove Streets, or you can either choose the side of being with the 30 Street Saints, and like do the thing there. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that would be like a perfect plot, especially for the simple fact that like Saints Row literally copied off GTA San Andreas pretty much for like the first two games until they went off the walls. But I would like to see that, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Especially like with the Saints Row 2 cast, and then like the first Grove Street. You know what I'm saying? Like CJ and stuff like that. So that's my pick.
Did not see you going that way at all.
I know it was weird. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the first thing that came up with my mind. Let me live.
So let me just clarify, because I'm just trying to understand your narrative a little bit more. So they're just gang beefing, right? Both the San Andreas dudes and the Saints Row folks, right? But like,
I mean, we'll put it like this: they're beefing with each other, but I mean, there could be always a common enemy, like
okay,
the ops.
So technically, when you're rolling around San Andreas, the ones that pull out on you sometimes when you're driving could technically be these Saints Row dudes.
Yeah,
they like ballers, but better.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of works in a way because like Saints wear purple and like the ballers are purple, so like you can kind of
son.
You know what I'm saying? They could have beef by like mistaking each other for mistaking them for the ballers, and like go that way.
That's some good shit, bro.
My boy Chris said this is fine writing right here.
Nah, man, that's cohesive, bro. Purple and purple, it is cohesive. That's far more cohesive than some Square Enix stories. I'm here for it.
Yeah, like fans could just move to Los Santos out of nowhere and just like have some beef with the Third Street Saints. That's all.
I could actually see that working with them just moving into the neighborhood out of nowhere and trying to like run the shit. Mm-hmm. That I could see, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it'll be like the classic GTA and classic Saints Row, like, because that's where like Saints Row originated from, where, they copied off GTA San Andreas and make their own style. So I'll say if you do that era, I think it'll be like a perfect like gang banging game. You know what I'm saying? You either pick the side of the Grove Street or the Third Street Saints,
Did you just say gang banging on our podcast?
He did.
He said, we're getting demonetized.
The fact that you like reiterated it in your quest with better clarity.
Oh, why? Come on. Why
you're out here trying to get fucked up by your
I realize what you guys be want to say. Gang
just don't give a fuck out here, bro.
He said it the third time.
This is a word I'm not supposed to say.
Welcome to the XP people. This is what it is. This is what it is. Oh boy.
Oh man. This podcast is rated M for mature.
Absolutely.
We'll just add the like that sensor noise.
Oh god. Okay. I like your idea. Actually, both of y'all had actually two really good ones. I'm gonna be real with you, yo. This is a hard one for me.
Wow.
This is a really hard one for me. I really cannot think.
Surprised.
I mean, I have one that's like loose, and I think it's something that I may have mentioned on the podcast before, but all right. This isn't fleshed out. Okay? It's not as fleshed out as what you guys have here. Okay? Okay. But I want to see my guy Sam Fisher some more, okay? We haven't been seeing him enough. Y'all mentioned something about Solid Snake. We're not doing that. That don't make no sense. Get that out of here now.
Does
No spy versus spy. When this other spy is a clone of a thing that's in a world where some character named Praying Mantis exists. No, we're not doing that. No.
Keep it real. We're gonna keep it real. Okay.
We'll keep it real. Well,
as real as we can be.
as
you
real as we
like,
could be.
Snake and Sam just go and shadow Moses and just like sneak up, find out the Metal Gear. No, let me stop.
We're gonna keep it as real as we can when we're talking about Assassin's Creed. Okay, how about that? Okay, I want Sam Fisher to be a descendant of Ezio, or any of the other guys that came before him, right? And if you guys are Desmond, be like related to Desmond or something like that. If you guys remember, there was a moment where Desmond was being chased. I don't fucking remember the game though. I feel like it was Assassin's Creed 3 or something like that.
It was. I think it was 3.
Okay, yeah. Well, there was a moment where you played as Desmond and he was getting chased and yada yada yada. There was like a whole story beat behind it. Not even gonna get into all that. The core element of it is that I think it was Desmond discovered that he was. I don't actually know. No, I don't remember if it was Desmond now. It's some character discovered that they were actually a descendant of the Templars instead of being like a descendant of the Assassins. Do you remember that, Manny?
Well, it was. I remember Assassin's Creed 3 when you first started.
Mm-hmm.
The character you play as at first is actually a Templar, and then like his son is the assassin that you play as.
Okay.
So technically, they are like related.
Okay.
And so technically, Desmond would be like a descendant of a Templar as well at one point.
Thank you for clearing that up. Okay. Well, the point I was getting at here is I want Sam Fisher to basically be public enemy number 1, but live in the realm of like Assassin's Creed. So the whole game, your purpose is to try to clear your name, clear your like descendants' names and whatnot, because everybody thinks that now you're like a Templar, you're like an enemy of the state, you're evil, you're this, you're that. And like, I don't know, somehow Sam Fisher goes into the Animus, finds out different things about his family's past, then like you basically jump between the past and the present, and you find a way for Sam Fisher to do Sam Fisher things in the present, and then for whoever it is that you're playing as in the past to be doing the Assassin's Creed things, and just like create like a really cool story and pull it together, and kind of make Sam Fisher like a Jason Bourne side of things, but then still keep the Assassin's Creed elements to it. I just want just something different, and it's an opportunity for me to see my boy Sam Fisher on the sticks.
Definitely, we need more Sam Fisher screen time. Not no DLCs. You know what I'm saying? We don't need them on Ghost Recon, Breakpoint, whatever, being side missions. Now we don't need that. We need an actual game.
We don't need them teasing us in Rainbow Six with some character that's supposed to look like Sam Fisher, but supposedly isn't. We don't need that. We need actual Sam Fisher.
It sucks because, like, with Assassin's Creed looked like it was going on a direction of like a modern day, like around Assassin's Creed 3 before like they ended the way they did because of like, they thought that the world was gonna end in 2012 kind of thing. So like it's true though. Like, I mean, like they gave us little like shots of like really modern day. I mean, I feel like that was kind of like the basis of the ending because like it did come out like that year, and like they kind of like I don't know.
That's not the reason why they didn't keep going like that. It was like they chose to make the game like an end of the world type of thing, and I don't know. It just the story got all screwy, and obviously the sales slumped off, so they had to completely pivot. But
yeah, like, and then they just like killed off Desmond out of nowhere. Like I thought they were gonna go that modern like modern day Assassin's Creed kind of game, which sadly we ain't get, but. I mean, hopefully we'll get something like that in the future because I think if done right, definitely would be a dope game.
I feel you on that. Chris, what do you think about the story, though? What do you think about that idea?
Well, I have a question first because you guys have played way more Assassin's Creed, excuse me, than I have. The way I understand the story, it works where the character in Assassin's Creed kind of can like show up in different points in history and whatnot, right? And then kind of like does what he does from there.
Like you use a machine called the Animus to like go back. I guess the idea is that there's like a collective memory from your ancestors. So you would go back to the memories of like a person, an ancestor of yours to play out their life or whatever.
Wow, that's crazy to think about. So then, if you did go this route, this would technically be the most modern looking Assassin's Creed that's ever been made. Because it would look
Absolutely.
damn near like a shooter almost, but like not a shooter. That's crazy, huh? Huh.
I feel like I know like they probably don't want to touch on the
It's
modern day
interesting,
aspect
man.
because like a lot of Assassin's Creed is like touching in like stuff that happened on past, history and try to like have that like kind of be like part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I feel like we're a little bit past this time, but imagine like an Assassin's Creed, but like in the Mafia times. I feel like that'd be so dope.
I want something that's a lot closer to like now
Yeah.
than ever before. Like even if
Yeah.
you do like World War II or something like
Mhm.
like spies in that way.
Right.
I feel like there's so many different things that they could do with it, and it doesn't necessarily have to be too tied to history. It's just like okay, it can take place in this particular period of time. You can use like characters from that particular time. Like let's say you do
Mhm.
World War II and you have like I guess Hitler would have to be someone that gets brought up at some
Definitely
level.
a Templar.
Yeah, like you throw little things like that in there. Just do something, find a creative way to piece that all together narratively.
Yeah, man. I I can't wait to see what they do with the next
Wow.
Assassin's Creed. But like I said, and like we all talked about it, like it's just we just want like more of a modern iteration. Just please Ubisoft, give it to us. Whatever we talk about comes into light. So we say
So we throwing it out there, we put it out there.
we throw it out.
All the ancestors that he draws the memories from were all also like espionage type dudes back then too. That's how that works with that, or like were they other?
They were like
things?
in the original, in like the first 3 games. Yeah, they were all like descendants of Desmond, and they were all like part of the Assassin's Creed.
Mhm.
When it all comes together.
Yeah. They really are. I mean, they are all like amazing games. Even now, like I really do give Ubisoft credit for what they've done recently with it, making it a lot more RPG-esque and all that stuff. But I do wish there was a little bit more of those elements of like Desmond and following his story. I wish they never killed him off because I feel like they could have done some really cool things with that. But alas, it is what it is. But yeah, that was actually a really awesome icebreaker there, Chris. Appreciate that one, man. Racking my brain on how to piece that all together. I'm sure give me a little bit more time, we can make that a little bit more.
It worked for me though. It worked because it wouldn't work with any other character besides what you guys just said. The Assassin's Creed character or the Desmond character or whatnot. It ties into that. Like it narratively makes sense how that would work. So I can't I got no complaints. That makes some fucking sense.
Word.
Square Enix, you could take that. You could
No, it's
take that
Ubisoft.
idea if you want.
It's Ubisoft.
I'm telling Square Enix to take it though because they need it.
Square Enix could take the whole Lara Croft and Nathan Drake idea because they own Tomb Raider, so they could go up to Sony and be like, "Hey, yo, come on, let's figure something out here."
Where's the gabagool?
Oh man! All right, guys. Well, again, great icebreaker. Let's get into the actual topics for this week. We got 3 main things to talk about. All pretty important in their own right. So we're gonna start off with the one thing that we've talked about a couple different times on the podcast, and it's finally been released officially in these. I think it was 2 weeks ago, or was it? Oh wait, no, it was this week.
Yeah,
It was this week. No, dude. See, like there's been so much going on in February. It's insane. Like it's hard to keep track of everything. But
wait on my email.
I'm still waiting on my email too. The Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is officially out, ladies and gentlemen, as of the 25th, from what I can remember. Manny and I don't have our hands on it. I didn't get my email yet. Obviously, they're on back order. Obviously, there's a lot of different things going on in the world. So I'm sure a lot of these things are going to get pushed out even further. But the early reviews on it are very, very, very positive. A lot of people are just raving about the hardware, the ability to have essentially a portable PC, with still high resolution graphics and all the different things. I saw a couple people were playing Elden Ring on it and were, kind of in awe of the fact that it ran so smoothly. man, it makes me upset because I really want one. I really, really want one. But, from what you guys have seen on the reviews so far, is it everything we've been expecting? I mean, I personally haven't heard anything negative about it so far. So if you guys have, definitely chime in on it. But Manny, I'll start off with you, man. What's your thoughts on the Steam Deck from what you've seen from afar?
Hmm. Yeah, like we talked about, unfortunately, we haven't got one yet, so we haven't really got our hands on. But I mean, like the fact that it is pretty much a portable PC and you can play such a great library of games that Steam offers, or even if you even want to like go further, it's like, be down, like put Windows in it whenever like support for that comes out and like be able to do games on Game Pass, on everything like that on the Steam Deck. It's really like amazing and a great price for what you get because like you said, the fact that you can even run games like Elden Ring on the Steam Deck is pretty amazing because we got the Nintendo Switch for around the same price that could barely even run like games like Breath of the Wild or whatever on it.
You didn't do them
And
like that, bro.
Control. You got like games like Control where it's like the only way to play Control is like through streaming, where Steam Deck, you download the game and you're playing the game right off the the system. So I mean, it's great. It's pretty convenient, especially now where it's like gaming is expensive. If you want to start off on a PC and you don't have one and you're not willing to shell out like thousands of dollars just to get a graphics card or whatever, I mean, this is a good option for for now until those become more available. And like, even though like, yeah, the battery life may not be the greatest, but like in the end, you could just plug it up to the wall and play it. But definitely, it's good to see that the Steam Deck is getting a lot of great reviews because we've seen in the past, of course, portable PCs try to be attempted and have failed. But hopefully, this is like a trend that we see now that in the future we even get more and more upgrades for something like a Steam Deck to evolutionize gaming.
Okay. Well, Chris, from what you've seen so far, how you feeling about it? I will say before you say anything, I was just doing a quick peek. I did find one not so great review. So I'll get into it afterwards. But go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, no, I'm the same boat as you guys. Haven't heard anything really bad yet, which is extremely surprising to me. I haven't heard about any Joycon Drift or anything like that, so that's outstanding. Yeah, it just makes me excited to actually get my hands on one too, man. I can't wait to finally get that thing. It's gonna be amazing. But yeah, the fact that it's running some of this stuff as well as it is probably the craziest thing. I, at the very least, thought that some people would be out there complaining about like it overheating or like whatever the case would be, just because there's so much cooling technology in actual gaming PCs. I thought it was going to be a thing to run stuff at certain metrics, but people saying so far so good. Which it's really good to see that, man, because like in all honesty, and I don't know if this will affect anything, but I'm hoping that Nintendo sees this on like a not a joking level, but like I really hope they see this kind of thing and say, man, this is the portable they came up with. Damn. Can we try to make something finally for once that's like at the table? Again, it probably won't, but like Manny said, man, I mean, it's almost damn near the same price if you subtract like $100 or so, or maybe a little bit more than that, and then you get a way better machine. And then the only reason that you probably would try to go get the other thing is because of nostalgia games, and maybe it's a little more kid friendly, I guess. But it's just, I really hope they do well. I hope they do really, really well sales wise. To kind of stamp that point down even further. And the thing I'm more excited about though is to see how versatile people are going to get with it, because I think it's still pretty fresh. By the end of the year, I think people are going to be out there doing some crazy shit with this thing. Because with it being an actual PC, I think there's a lot of potential in it that people haven't even really tapped into yet. Outside of gaming, not even just with the game, just outside of gaming in general. I think this is going to be a major plus on the tech market, for sure. And yeah, I'm excited. I've heard nothing. I really, really swore we were going to get some overheating news, man. I thought that was going to be a thing for sure.
It is
Like,
early though. To be fair, it is
yeah.
early. You know, it's only been out a couple days, so that's one thing. Maybe when it gets into people's hands, that could be an issue. But yeah, I mean, I would have expected to hear a little bit more about that too. The one thing I will say, you know, as I found that one review, The Verge gave it a 6. Like, you know,
Verge,
gave it a
wow.
flat 6.
Uh,
Now, what they went ahead and said for the good things is that it's powerful, high quality, at a really affordable price relative to the actual performance of the machine. Extremely customizable controls, easily lets you balance performance versus battery drain. You can suspend and resume games, and it doubles as a full Linux PC. So those are all the good things they listed. But the bad things, unfinished buggy software. Honestly, Mirochu, that's not particularly surprising to me. Valve is pretty good about, you know, like Steam, the software for Steam, but it is something that's constantly evolving, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna get that squared away at, you know, in a decent time frame. So I'm not too concerned about that. Here's one thing that I did find interesting: noisy fan almost never stops whining. Now,
mm,
I suppose it's better that the fan is hitting that way, you know, in comparison to it overheating. But if the fan is that loud, you know, almost all the time, I would be curious to see if that will eventually lead to some overheating issues if it's trying so hard to compensate for, you know,
yeah.
being such a small machine, having all that power, playing powerful games like Elden Ring or, you know, whatever comes down the pipeline. So that's something to keep our eye on, I guess we could say. And then the other two things that they mentioned there, some of the most popular games still don't work, which, you know, I guess that does make sense. I think they mentioned, let's see, I think it said Fortnite doesn't work on here.
Oh. It works on
Fortnite is an Epic
everything.
game, so
Yeah,
That
yeah.
shit works on everything.
Well, here's that's the other thing too, right? It's a full fledged PC. I think they're still working out the ability to. I think they said something about like an emulator that they would be using to allow you to install like full fledged Windows applications. So like the Epic Game Store would be something that eventually would be installed on there.
mhm.
You know, like Xbox Game Pass or the Xbox Store, I guess you could say, should be installed on there in the future. Actually, Gabe Newell did mention this week that he would be interested in getting Game Pass on Steam if Microsoft would be willing to work with him. So, you know, maybe that's another thing that you could say, all right, well, once that hits, that gets on Steam, Game Pass on Steam with a Steam Deck, that could be a problem. Um, you know, interesting little things like that. But the final thing that they mentioned, which honestly to me isn't very surprising, but the battery life takes a pretty hard hit here. It said 2 hours or less battery life at its highest fidelity. I mean, that doesn't particularly surprise me. So I will say, if this holds true, I do trust The Verge. You know, they're probably one of the more reputable tech websites out there. If they're saying these types of things, it makes total sense to me why Nintendo would never go for something like this, right? Obviously, when you even if you were to compare the two devices as is, Nintendo's games are, you know, amazing for what they are, whatever, what have you, and we know, well documented, some of the things that Switch is lacking here. But you also have to factor in that you can dock your Switch to a dock, remove the controllers. Those controllers have motion sensors in them, all that different stuff. So it is kind of in a sense one way where the technology does, you know, I guess advance the Steam Deck in that regard. And obviously Nintendo's going for a very specific, not necessarily just demographic, but a very specific experience with the Switch. You know, they want the ability to remove the controllers and do all the motion control stuff. You know, like we're getting a new Switch Sports game, so you know that stuff would only work with something like the Switch, right? You couldn't do that with the Steam Deck. So, I think Nintendo knows what they're doing in regards to the experience that they're trying to craft. But I would love to see them do something a little bit more powerful and just be like, all right, look, guys, we know there's kids who don't want to spend that much money or can't afford to spend that much money on getting a game system. So we'll keep the Switch Lite for them. And then we'll get like the hardcore Switch Pro situation for like the hardcore gamers who really want to jump back into the Nintendo ecosystem. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about this all the time, but it's like they're still making money hand over fist, so nothing's going to change.
Yeah. Yeah. So I said I didn't think it would, but
Yeah,
can only hope.
for sure. Well, I mean, speaking of Nintendo, though, pivoting to the next topic here, Chris, I know you're gonna have a lot to say about this one, so I'm gonna start with you on it. But we're getting some new Pokemon games. So Nintendo had or I guess we'll say the Pokemon Company had a Pokemon Presents showcase where they gave a whole bunch of news about a bunch of different things. I think there was some updates to the new Pokemon game Arceus. There was some updates to Pokemon Go. I think they announced an anime that's inspired by the new Arceus game. But the thing we really want to talk about here is, they officially announced the Gen 9 Pokemon. What's it called again? Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's supposed to be coming out this year. They gave us a little sneak peek. It's supposed to be another open world 3D situation. Chris, I mean, you run us through it, man. What do you think so far?
It's got some hype. There's some hype, people. There's some serious hype. I don't know. I'm trying not to get too excited because I don't want to get overly excited and then I get it and then I'm disappointed. But I gotta say, y'all, like this, people said it with Sword and Shield, and then they said it again with Arceus, and then good games, but like they both lack in certain ways. This one here looks like they took the best of both worlds and kind of just said, okay, those were like our test runs with what we really want to try to do. Sword and Shield got an okay reception. Arceus actually had a pretty good reception for most folks. And then they're just taking that and just like sprinkling some crack on it and just saying, here you go. Finally, here you go. Here you go. This is what you guys want. Here you go. First thing I could say when the trailer starts up, and I said, oh shit. Wow. This is the first time I could actually say that my game looks kind of nice. Like this is pushing it to the limit. Because even when they look like a little nice from the initial trailers or the reveal trailers that they do for every gen, they do a lot of stuff in those trailers to make them look pretty on purpose. And then you get the actual game and you play it for a little bit, and then you walk up to a tree and it's like, bro, why does this tree look like construction paper? Like, bro, you know what I mean? Like, so it'd be shit like that. But this, dude, there's some textures on shit. like the ground has texture. The houses have a texture. Like I saw there's a Magnemite in the trailer, and it's look all shined up and stuff like somebody, took a rag and they one of them on it or something. I'm like, bruh, they really put work into the graphics. They even have the sun. Like how a lot of video games, it's a pretty modern thing now where like you look up at the sun and you actually can see the sun, whatever they call that not a ray, but the
it was like a reflection or like
yeah, it looked like a bunch of hexagons that just, you know what I'm saying? It's that shit. They have it in the game. There you go. They got sun flares through the trees now, baby. That's different. It's just the little tiny details. I think they're starting to get better and better and better. One of the things in Arceus that I thought that was very, very cool was, certain mons you have to catch in certain conditions. It's not so much like, in the older games, very rudimentary, you're walking through a little square patch of grass and whatever mons that are in that area could pop out of that grass. A bird mon, bug mon, whatever, but it could pop out of the grass. In Arceus, it's set up where, like, if I walk up to, or I walk up a mountain or some shit like that, and I'm at the top of the mountain, there's certain mons that fly in a circle above the mountain, and they have a new ball in the game that, like, it goes very fast. It's called a jet ball. And you're going to literally have to aim at the mon where it's at this, you can't, like, physically get to it. You have to aim your ball. Otherwise, you're never going to catch it. And there's just little tiny things like that they've put in the game that kind of made it feel way more like intricate. You know what I mean? There's certain mons in the game that walk up to you and they're super friendly. Like they're not gonna try to hurt you or nothing like that at all. There's other ones that when they see you, it's on sight and you got to dip. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a cool dynamic that they have here with like they really put a lot of emphasis in Arceus in terms of just making it feel like you're truly exploring and recording these notes about these things. So I'm just looking at how they did that, and I'm like, man, this next game, though, oh, man. Like, if I had to guess, I would think that they've been working on this at least 5-6 years. At least. It's putting everything I've seen in the past from them to shame visually. And then shout out the starters. We got a Crocodile starter. Fire. Coco. Shout out the water duck, Quaxley. Shout him out. And shout out my favorite of the bunch. I'm gonna throw a pause on this because it's not a gangster looking mod at all. But my God, it's got a nice design. That little grass cat thing that they done made, Sprigatito. It's an adorable cat. I ain't gonna hold you. It's Sprigatito.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're basing the region on Spain, from what everybody's kind of piecing together. Especially with the fireman. His name is Coco, like Fuego, and then Coco is crocodile in Spanish. It's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, man, these joints look big. Pause. These look. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm trying not to be too excited. Like I said, this. I'm gonna eat some crow. I might have to get a new Switch for this game, y'all. I might have to. And I wasn't gonna give them motherfuckers no more money. I was not.
Tell you, man. Every time we write Nintendo out, man, they hit us with something.
This is what they do. This is how they get you, though. They know that you have one nostalgia trip game on their platform that you are never gonna let go.
Yep.
That's my problem. No.
For me, it's Metroid, but also that Switch Sports, bro, or Wii Sports 2. We're just gonna call it Wii Sports 2 from now on. Bro, I saw that. I was like, damn, I gotta get new Joy-Cons now. Because I just sold the extra Joy-Cons I had. I was like, I'm never gonna be playing multiplayer games anymore with this thing. Nah, bro. Nah. It's over.
Yeah. They know what they're doing. But long story short, I'm gassed, man. I am gassed. It's this Team Sprigatito. That's what they all do. Every time a new generation comes out, you go on Twitter, and the threads are crazy. Everybody just chooses which one they like the best, and I'm team this or I'm team that, and the fan art comes out literally like 20 minutes after the reveal. Yep. Like, it's crazy how that works, but Pokemon community is wild.
Hardcore, man. Diehards right there. Manny, what about you, man? Are you vibing with this Pokemon situation? Do you big a Pokemon guy anymore?
I mean, personally, I never was really like big into Pokemon, but like the games do look interesting. Like, you know, Arceus, I was thinking about buying it. I just haven't yet, but now they just released the trailer for this, and I'm like, okay, Arceus can wait. So, and you know, Nintendo games, you never go on sale, so like that's why I'm not gonna buy Arceus.
Oh yeah.
So, it's just, you know, pretty surprising turnaround time for not only this and Arceus, but they also had like the remaster for Diamond and Pearl on that came out in November. And I'm like, if you release this next game on like the around November timetable, it's like that's 3 games in a year basically, and it's just crazy how like fast they're pumping out games, and it's just like, you know, like it only worries me a little bit just for the simple fact that it's like, okay, like is the quality really going to be good? Like, is there going to be a lot of bugs or anything like that? Because of the turnaround time. I mean, I do like the fact that he did take some stuff from Arceus, like having the Pokemon out chilling instead of like, you know, you walk in the tall grass and you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, some of the aspects of that, I haven't got to play Sword or Shield either, so I don't know like really too much of their aspects. The world does look beautiful, like Chris said. You know, very detailed. It gives you that Breath of the Wild feeling that you're just like out in the wild again, of course, exploring, catching Pokemon. If the reviews are good, I definitely might be able to, you know, take interest and possibly purchase this game and play it.
Okay.
I just wanted to interject one thing real quickly, just to kind of ease anybody's thoughts. Because you mentioned that you didn't know if it was going to get released with any bugs and stuff because they were doing everything so close together. I would argue that this game in particular probably was being worked on probably before the other two, just because they're literally on a 3-year cycle with every generation. Mm-hmm. So they had to like know exactly when they were starting and all that stuff, and unless like COVID stuff like might slow them down a little bit maybe, but I don't know if that's something we got to worry about too much, because they usually don't launch with any bugs or nothing. They've been pretty good on that.
Okay. I mean, for me, I kind of wish I liked Pokemon still. I don't know.
I feel
it's like honestly, I saw this one because, you know, I had to watch. I was like, damn, this actually looks really dope. You know, and obviously Arceus, like I was pretty excited about that. I was like, wow, this is like what 13-year-old me would have been like, bro, this like I would have been on this, bro. I would have had this day one, but I don't know, something it's not doing it for me anymore. But I really have to admit, it still looks cool. Still looks cool. It's just that I know when I try to dive into it, I'm gonna be like, same for me. Same for me. But
Respect it.
with that being said, I thought that that's how I was gonna go into Elden Ring. You know, just gonna jump right into the final topic here. I thought that's how I was gonna go into Elden Ring. I was like, you know what? Like, I know Souls games are great. I know I enjoy them, but like for whatever reason, I didn't think it was gonna hit me. Next thing you know, game's out for like 2-3 days, and I already sunk in 30 whole hours into it. Just wandering around trying to figure out my way, and every other hour finding out something completely new about the mechanics of the game that I just was like, whoa, what the hell? You know, it's like the other thing I have to say real quick. This game came out damn near perfect. Like there are no bugs for me on Xbox. The only issue that's happened so far was I think the first couple of days there was some issues with the multiplayer servers. I personally never ran into those issues. The multiplayer was working for me from day one, but I know, you know, some of our friends were trying to get in together and they couldn't get into the multiplayer servers. But this game is virtually bug free. I have not experienced anything like it's unheard of in 2022, especially with COVID going on. It's just like, bro, they pushed back the game, obviously, right? Or wait, no, did they push it back, or did we all assume it was coming out at a certain time and then they said February?
It was more like they never gave us a release date, and then when they gave us a release date, they stuck to it.
So they were smart about it. Okay, because I think everybody was expecting it to come out in the fall or something along those lines, and they said their date. So let me correct myself there. They didn't push it back. They stuck to their date. They nailed it. Game is, oh my god, it's flawless, man. It's still a 97 rating on Metacritic right now. One of the highest rated games of all time. And like, you know, at the risk of like praising it too much, this is easily the best game that I played in the last 5 years. I don't want to dive too deep into the conversation about it because I do want to do a separate review video or discussion video where we kind of talk about the game at length, because if we talk about it now, we'll be here for a whole other hour. But first impressions right now, man, are very, very, very positive from me. Manny, I know you've been playing it. Chris, I know you don't have it just yet, but Manny, I'm going to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Elden Ring so far?
Yeah, I've enjoyed my my time in Elden Ring so far. The game is of course hard, and I like it hard. Pause. No, but
Ooh, boy.
Oh man, but back to seriousness. The game is fun and challenging. For those seasoned Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Sekiro players, I'm sure it's probably like cakewalk, because I remember I seen this one Sekiro player just like bang out this one boss battle taking no damage, and I'm like, how did he do that? But what is it called? I mean, like, I haven't even got to exploring it, but just like hearing from the stories of Ya, like, exploring worlds and just like how big the universe is of this Elden Ring, and it's like, it's crazy. And I've only got like 12 hours into the game because I've been trying to bang out Horizon Forbidden West, because I don't want to put that game to the side either. But like, I like so far just like every boss battle is unique. Even like the enemies that you think are bosses that are just side bosses, if anything. It's like, they all like have a challenge to it, and it's fun. Of course, like, the game punishes you a lot for like, trying to like over attack too much and everything like that, which is good. There's like a skills gap in between. So it's like, if you're looking for a easy playthrough, you might not enjoy it. But like, the best part about these Souls like games like Elden Ring is that like, the challenge keeps you coming back, wanting to like, bang out more and everything like that. And which is why I enjoy it a lot. So I definitely will be playing more, exploring more. Hopefully, get to dive all in before next couple weeks. But yeah, like so far, I've been definitely enjoying it. Definitely an early game of the year contender.
Easily.
The only thing I've heard about is like I heard PC performance been having issues, but shout out to the console gamers.
Oh, PC. One thing I just want to reiterate or mention, because you were talking about the stories that we were running into and the diversity of enemies types. I was joking around about this, like when we were all playing this in the party together, but they should just change the name of this game to like, what the fuck was that? Because literally every 5 minutes, that's all you were hearing in the party when we were all playing together. Bro, what is that? Bro, what is that? Oh, I just died. Like, it's just like, oh man, it's just amazing to just be exploring a cave and then seeing a completely new enemy type with a completely different mechanic that you have to now figure out. It's just like, it's literally like Breath of the Wild on crack. Like, this is like, Breath of the Wild is already considered like a damn near perfect game. To me, this is like 10 notches above that. It's just that good, man. It's
crazy because like there's just so much stuff that like happens, and like you can go about it your own way. You do things however you want, and like it's how the game is supposed to be played. It's not linear, like you mentioned earlier in the group chat, where you're not forced to do anything. You're there to do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. I remember in the beginning of what is it called, where you go like get your horse and everything like that. And then you see like this enemy. We're gonna call him the Beast Titan for all those who watch Attack on Titan. Boy, this dude comes out of nowhere, jumps out of the air, and like, all right, I come back to the bonfire. I call him the bonfire. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like calling the new name. I'm not used to it yet. But like, I come back, I plan how am I gonna get through this because I'm trying to progress in the game, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna run past by him. So like,
that's the plan.
Bro, that's exactly what I did. Chris, you don't understand. Often in the game, you will see something and you're like, run past it. You
don't have to fight them unless you like go through the hidden mist or whatever. And then like, you're like, damn, I'm stuck here. I'm going to lose my souls until like I beat this dude. But like, the dude dropped from the sky and I was like, okay, I'm running. So I'm hauling ass, running past them. There's like these barricades that like block you, so you kind of like have to like weave past them. And like I get through the third barricade and I'm like, all right, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I turn on for a half a second and this dude is right on my ass, about to swing on me, and I'm like, yo, hauling ass and everything like that. It's just crazy. Like the whole experience is hella fun. I'm like I said, I wish I played more of it, but all these games just came out week after week, and it's just like I gotta take my time with it. I can't just rush through it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. This month started, and I started with Dying Light 2, and I have to say I really wasn't expecting much from Dying Light 2, but played that game. I didn't beat it, but I was enjoying it. Then Sifu hit, and it was like, oh damn, y'all doing something now. Then time passes by. Horizon comes out. I still haven't had a chance to touch Horizon because I was stuck on Sifu. Then Destiny 2 with the Witch Queen comes out, and I'm like, bro, this is great as well. And then Elden Ring.
Perfect way to end the month, man.
Perfect way to end the month, man. I have to. This is like one of the best months in gaming, bar none. Like 3 Game of the Year contenders in this month alone. It's crazy. But Chris, I know, we talked about it. You haven't played Elden Ring yet, but, I still got to get your take on it. I'm sure you've been seeing some things out there, some memes, some streams, whatever.
I have. I'm gonna take the time now to eat a little bit more crow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we gotta give Manny his props.
Nah, well, here's what I was gonna say, because I still haven't seen anything graphically that truly blew me away yet, but I actually haven't physically played, so I'll hold my tongue on that one. I'm more so gonna eat the crow based on just the fact that, like, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I kind of thought this was gonna flop a little bit. The reason being is because there was so much hype to this game, and every time we have a game that has mad hype to it, it flops. It flops heavily. And then with this game in particular, I guess I didn't expect them to go as hard with it as they did in terms of giving everybody all these detailed things to do and all these crazy NPCs to go find and all this stuff. Like, the way how you guys are describing the game tells me that they truly went piece by piece with this thing. You know what I mean? And gave us their beautiful art that they created afterwards. And I thought this was going to be way less of that. I thought they were going to not necessarily half-ass it, but, you know, this, how many RPGs come out every year that we say, yo, man, I don't know, it's going to be as good as Skyrim? It's at least 17 a year that pop out like that we're like, I don't know, man. You know, so, like, the only game that kind of would make me say off rip, yo, I don't know if this is going to fuck Skyrim up, would probably be the next Elder Scrolls. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, hearing the way you guys are talking about it and seeing some of the reviews I've been seeing and the Metacritic score and, you know, all these different things, I'm like, damn, yeah, the game sound kind of chunky. I ain't gonna hold you, chunky in a good way. Yeah, man, I already know once I get it, the way y'all talking, I'm gonna be wilding out because this man said Breath of the Wild on crack. And I thought Breath of the Wild was pretty damn good, but one of the things that was annoying to me was the fact that the NPCs were very much reused in the game. Like, you would get to a new area or whatever, and it'd be the same goblin dude, but just with like maybe a different like armor set or something like that. But it'd be the same character, you know what I mean? Whereas, you know, this makes the game feel alive if everything is different, because in reality, everything's different. You know, so that's cool. And another thing that Breath of the Wild I didn't like either is that he took out the dungeons in place of those little puzzle room things. And I know a lot of people did enjoy those. I didn't think they were bad. I just didn't think that those should have replaced the dungeons. There was something very special about walking past a wall and there's a crack in the wall. You're like, oh shit, I didn't see that. Oh, you put a bomb down and there is something nice about that. And it going in and you're exploring, it's much different. These other little things they did in Breath of the Wild was meh. But to hear that this game is 10 times over what they did in Breath of the Wild is shit, y'all might make me have to try to shuffle something in my budget. I might try to see if I can get this a little earlier than I anticipated.
I really think
5 cents a day. Nice.
I really do think, bro, this is really one of those games that I know you. I know how you are. You love the grind. Like, you will sink your teeth into an RPG like this. This is the one, bro. This is the one.
And there's co-op?
And there's co-op.
Jesus.
The co-op is a little like, the co-op is actually perfect for the way the game is designed, right? Because I feel like a lot of the time the issue that you run into when you put co-op in a game like this is that you kill the difficulty aspect of it. And that is not at all an issue with this game. If anything, there's this one enemy, for those of you who've been playing, his name is Margit. He's like the first actual cutscene that you get in the game. Mind you, playing the game for like 3-4 hours and I didn't get a single cutscene up until this one character, because there's just so much exploration to be doing and whatever. Man, I tell you, this man will whip my ass up and down that game, bro.
Bro,
It funnels you in this. Oh, sorry, real quick. Funnels you in this really small area, and man, he done killed me every single inch of that area that you can play in. I've died so many times.
Does he do that walk off like when he just?
I don't even know.
NPCs do that.
I don't even know. Just so much despair every time I die. But I beat him today.
I still haven't beat him. But I remember, like, it was me, Felix, and Isaiah trying to bang out and beat him. Bro, like, Felix had him a quarter of health left, like, not even, like, probably less than that. And, like, this dude whips out the freaking hammer. Felix running away, no. He dies, and this dude just whips it and yeets him. Hammer, and fucking, like, barely touches him, but, like, he hits him enough where he knocks his ass out and kills him. I'm just like, yeah. This dude will fucking, like, what I love about, like, you know, Souls, like, games and everything like that is, like, their boss battles, like, you know, you think, you know, you see everything they can do, but you haven't until you, like, you know, you actually beat them, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, they always, like, especially when you hit, like, a certain point of health, they always, like, trigger new animations and everything like that, and you're just like, what the? It's hard.
It's just it's so detailed, man. Like, there's so much intricacy to it, too. Like, you know, different enemies, they're susceptible to different types of things. Like certain enemies, you want to poison them. Certain enemies, you have to hit them with fire. Certain enemies, you have to do this and that. And then, Chris, like you talked about with what you wish they did in Zelda, like the dungeons are just like a different beast in that of themselves, because then there's different enemies in the dungeons, and then the bosses are crazy. Like, bro, there was this one boss we caught the other day. It was basically a bear. It's just this big ass bear, and the bear is relentless, man. Like other bosses, you'll fight them, you'll hit them a little bit, but they'll back away. They'll give you a moment to, if you can heal, do this, do that. Nah, bro, this bear is in your face 24/7. Whoever's attacking him, he's in your face. And like the only respite you have is to just run away to one corner and don't attack him at all. Like, you need to be in co-op for that moment, because trying to go in there on your own with a bear, and there's a couple different bears that you see like sprinkled around the world too, but this one bear, oh my God, it grabs you, bear hug, slams you to the ground, just be bro, man. Chris, listen, this game is something else, man.
Bro, even in the beginning, yo, like once you get to the the lands in between, whatever, like as soon as you walk out, you see a tree guardian, and like it's just like you go close to him, you see the health bar pop up, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, it's just one of those things where it's just like it's a never ending cycle of death.
Yep.
I have a question for y'all. So I understand that the gameplay is enriching and amazing and all that good stuff, but y'all didn't touch too much on the story. Is that shit like good?
See, that's the crazy part about it. And I was going to mention this before too. So the story is written by the same person who made Lord of the Rings trilogy, or Lord of the Rings. What am I saying? Walk that back. The Game of Thrones books, that series of books, and eventually the show and all that stuff. George R.R. Martin. The story so far is great and all. I haven't been engaging in the story. Like, it's like, okay, I understand what my purpose is in this world because they give me a nice little cutscene and I understand what's going on. There's a couple NPCs that I talk to, whatever. I understand the general idea of what's happening. I just want to explore. That, like, the exploration of the game is just so engaging. It surpasses the story. And, and again, like, I'm 30 hours deep. I've probably expanded on 3 or 4 aspects of the story because there's just so much going on in this world.
I feel like when it comes to like games, like obviously like you would want like a good story, but like what makes a Souls-like game like Elden Ring so good is just like like we talked about, like the gameplay aspect. The combat is always great. The enemies you fight is always different and unique. So like they're not gonna focus too much on the story as much as you probably like would think they would do. But like, what the thing about like games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring and everything like that is like I'm sure Elden Ring probably has like a really deep lore that we don't know about because like it just came out. It's like a new like like IP, I guess you could say. So I'm sure there is like a deep lore that we just don't know about yet, and I'm sure people are like diving in deep.
There is the story. The story itself is cohesive. It's just that I've been exploring so much that like I haven't like, okay. So if you think about how Zelda situated itself, right? You understood the purpose of Breath of the Wild, right? Essentially, you had to go to this tower, defeat this enemy. Like, that was your whole purpose in this game, was to go like build yourself up to get to this point and do this thing. Like, you could have started Breath of the Wild and just went straight to that castle, fought the enemy, and beat the game. But obviously, like that wasn't gonna work out because you needed to power yourself up, understand the mechanics, do all those different things. Elden Ring works out in a very similar way, and the story makes perfect sense. I just don't care because I'm just so much more interested in like running around and seeing all the different enemies and powering my guy up and whooping people's asses and all that stuff. It was just like that Marga guy, he's like an important part of the story. Like, you have to get to him to proceed, and I, like I said, 30 hours in, I just beat him today. You know, it's just like I was so much more worried about everything else other than that. So that's not to say that the story's good or bad. Like I couldn't tell you because I just don't care, because everything else that I'm dealing with right now is so much more interesting than like a traditional story could ever be. Like I'm making my own story by walking around this world and like finding all these enemies and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Like you're not shitting on the story in a bad way. You're
No.
just they just done so well with the environment that you're enamored with that for the time being.
Right. Absolutely.
much.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean,
Damn.
yeah,
Damn.
Chris, we got to get you on there, man. I'm telling you, I know this is something that will.
Yo, how big is this game, Bri? How many gigs is this shit?
I think it's around 60 gigs. We'll figure that afterwards, but might be less than that. Might be
I
less.
need that memory card, bro. This shit be killing me, bro.
Not killing me.
Oh,
we'll figure that out later for you, man. But Chris, yeah, we need Chris up on there. We'll table the conversation around Elden Ring for now, because like I said, we can go on for a whole another hour about this. There's a lot more going on. We'll come back together once we got Chris playing more, once we got Manny in there more. And we'll definitely get back to it. But for now, we'll head out. Before we go, though, Manny, what we normally do. Where can people find you?
Of course, twitch.tv/GoodMasterFlex, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at GoodMasterFlex_. The only difference is on Instagram is _TTV, but I think everything else is _.
All right, word. And Chris, what about you, man?
As always, people, I am on everything at MAY25THXX. And again, that's on everything.
Yes,
Holla
sir.
at you, boy.
All right, guys. And for me, it's Black Ice 8 pretty much everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, Xbox, Steam, all that jazz. Only difference is on Instagram and TikTok, it's going to be at Black Ice 8 _gaming. So make sure to check us all out. Make sure to check out the podcast social medias. You can find us at Xpack Pod on Twitter and on Instagram, as well as just search up Xpansion Pack Podcast on TikTok. And we'll check you guys out next week. Thank you guys for watching.
Peace.
Hiya.